Though it tarries, wait for it, for it will certainly come, it will not delay. Habakkuk 2:3. To the faculty, administration, and staff, thank you for serving us faithfully for the last 3 and 4 years. To our family, friends, and loved ones, thank you for lending us to the Georgetown Law School for this endeavor. As this is a Jesuit institution, with conviction and compunction, I can say thank God for the perseverance and the provision for making it to this point, and thank you for the endless possibilities that exist beyond this point. Congratulations, Section 1 of the 2004 JD class of the Georgetown University Law Center, for this is your appointed time. 3 years ago, we embarked on an all-out game of let's make a deal. We traded in our little black books for the blue book. A motley crew of paralegals, school teachers, Wall Street traders, undergraduate, graduate, and medical students, Goldman, military officers, consultants and Peace Corps volunteer, and you know my favorite student has always been Robin Painter, who traded in 3 years of our lives and nearly $150,000 to make this deal. We relocated from as far north as Canada, as far east as Maine, as far west as Hawaii, and as far south as South Africa. All to find out what was behind the Georgetown law degree. So in this deal, did our sacrifices yield fruit or frustration? Was it all worth it? Did the sum of the inflows outweigh the cost of the outflows? We remember obvious outflows like tuition and lost income. But there were subtle costs like lost time, lost innocence from that first phone call, and the pain of enduring some of the more ridiculous and absurd comments of our classmates. Two of the more memorable come to mind are, you know what happens when those people move into your neighborhood? And we all remember paying the price for, may I call you Dick? But how does September 11th factor into the equation? I left New York City on September 1st, 2001. I looked at those 2 beautiful towers and said goodbye to some close friends for the very last time. What was that worth? What was the cost that dreadful Tuesday morning to find out that that very blanket of security that we thought protected us gave us as much covering as the emperor's new clothes? However, by God's grace, we were right here in this place where they provide us with counseling, chaplain services, and a phone bank. Haven't you always appreciated the support and the ministry that exists at this law school? Thank you, Sister Dorinda. Thank you, Father Alexi. Thank you, Gihan. Yes, there were outflows. Professor Spann taught us all too well that deals require consideration. Giving up something to get something. So what did we get? What were the inflows? Well, we had lunches with Professor Gottesman without his falling microphone. We rode the 12B6 bus with Professor Schrager and his violet frog, and listened to the master litigator spin tales of legal yore, the great Samuel Dash. Accuser of Nixon, attorney for Hoffa, nuisance to Bobby Kennedy, thorn in the side of J. Edgar Hoover, inspiration to Earl Stanley Gardner. Yes, we know who the real Perry Mason was. And confidant to the United States Supreme Court Chief Justice, Warren Burger. Professor Dash, teacher and inspirer to us all, who was willing to accept calls from his sickbed to answer the beleaguered questions of frightened one else. How can you value that? But those were the compulsories. What about the optionals, the bonus rounds? Did you hear a Supreme Court Institute move right here at the Law Center? Or better yet, did you walk 5 blocks down to the Supreme Court and hear an actual case argued by one of our own professors? I still remember lining up with Jay and Jonathan at 5:30 in the morning to hear Professor Lazarus successfully argue before the Divine Nine. Were you on a journal? Did you at least endure the write-on competition? Were you a member of Barrister's Council? Did you participate in one of Georgetown's #1 ranked clinical programs? Were you in a Gilbert and Sullivan production? Chris, one day you will be judge, senator, maybe even Attorney General Nelson, but we will always affectionately remember you as Chicago's Mary Sunshine. Did you make a pro bono commitment or serve your community as part of the Equal Justice Foundation? Did you run for SBA president twice? Way to go, Nathan. In the 3 years that you have been here, have you gone deep and sucked the marrow of life out of this institution? Or did you get less than you bargained for? Since we started this deal, this contract, this agreement between Georgetown Law School and each and every one of us, we've gotten married, engaged, and disengaged. Hello, Mrs. Hedrick. Adam, Twain, congratulations. Fallen in and out of love, become parents. Hello, Charlie, Teddy, how are you doing out there? Watch 3 World Series go by without the Yankees winning, so all 3 World rings. Witness this country brought to its knees on 9/11. Entered into wars with both Iraq and Afghanistan. It's time to get out of the bushes. Captain Saddam Hussein, convicted Martha Stewart, trampled upon affirmative action, redefined the institution of marriage, and passionately watched as Jesus topped the box office. The world is not the same as it was when we got here, and neither are we. Professor Dash brought us to tears on the last day of class our first year, when he told us that we had the opportunity to change the world, one choice at a time. So whether this was all worth it or not is your choice. Law is but a means. Justice is the end. Choose justice.